The dim blue glow of a monitor reflects in Antyk's tired eyes. Around him, the small repair shop is a graveyard of vintage electronics, a sanctuary of discarded potential. He types a complex string into his custom AI. Oracle, a program initially designed to predict solar flares, but now repurposed for a desperate, impossible task. On the screen, the digitized, rusted gears of the Antikythera Mechanism's existing fragment spin wildly. A new gear, rendered in brilliant blue light, snaps into place where a piece has been missing for 2 millennia. The calculation completes instantly. A single cryptic date flashes October 29th. Antyk doesn't cheer. He slumps, heart pounding, recognizing the date as the exact anniversary of the biggest failure of his career. The noon chime from the Harmony Creek Town Square Clock Museum, a collection of perfectly restored timepieces, is a comforting lie. Antyk's tech shop, the Broken Byte, is always 10 minutes behind. He's meticulously cleaning a sticky keyboard, avoiding the deeper, broken pieces of his own life. The small town's rhythm, slow, steady, and predictable, is exactly what he sought after leaving the high-pressure AI world. Maya, his assistant, blasts a motivational pop song, humming over the drill noise from her side of the shop. This simple, honest work gives him structure, but his brilliant mind craves the complex chaos of the unknown. He keeps the Oracle server humming in the back, a secret pet project threatening to spill over. Antyk is hunched over a schematic, the Antikythera's original blueprint, overlaid with Oracle's projected additions. He views the ancient machine not as a relic, but as the world's first analog computer, a soulmate across time. Oracle, his AI, wasn't just guessing the missing gears. It was using an advanced form of predictive modeling, cross-referencing ancient star charts and astronomical cycles with modern satellite data. The AI calculated the machine's intended output, a complex multi-layered prediction of an ultra-rare celestial alignment. The more he stares at the perfect, impossible geometry, the more the scientist in him knows this is real, and the more the cynical part fears its potential to fail, just like his career. Maya slides a lukewarm coffee across the workbench, jolting Antyk from his trance. She points to the cryptic October 29th date now displayed on Oracle's interface, which she's just noticed. "Antyk, is this some kind of deep-cut historical birthday?" she asks. He flinches. He explains that the mechanism's calculations are based on 2 intertwined cycles, one for the moon, one for the sun. The missing half, which Oracle rebuilt, wasn't just a calendar, it was a predictor for a specific 2-part event that only recurs every 10,000 years. The date it points to, his failure anniversary, is a cosmic coincidence that feels like a personal mockery. He wants to delete the entire project, but can't. Antyk and Maya are at the Gilded Gear Diner, a local institution famous for its sticky buns and clock-themed decor. Antyk tries to casually discuss the complexity of ancient Greek astronomical modeling with a waitress who clearly only cares about her tips. A news bulletin plays on the diner's small, wall-mounted TV, a segment about the Antikythera Mechanism, featuring Dr. Evelyn Reed. She is sharp, articulate, and utterly dismissive of garage-based AI pseudo-archaeology. Antyk instinctively grips his coffee cup. Her voice is the cold academic validation he ran away from, but it also lights a competitive fire under his fear. The news segment ends with an invitation for new theories to be submitted. Back in the shop, Antyk uploads a tiny fraction of Oracle's data, just enough to pique interest, but not enough to be stolen, to the Historians Research Forum anonymously. The file's title is simply the OCT-29 alignment. Within minutes, Dr. Reed's account replies with a scathing public rejection. Nonsense! The mechanism is a lunar solar calendar, not a celestial crystal ball. This prediction is numerically impossible. Antyk feels the familiar sting of academic failure. He pushes deeper, running Oracle's full predictive suite. The AI doesn't just calculate a date, it pinpoints a set of highly specific geographic coordinates where the predicted event will be visible. A remote, forgotten stretch of the Great Salt Lake Desert, Utah. Dr. Reed, in her immaculate university office, stares at her monitor. The anonymous submission has been widely mocked by her colleagues, yet something in the elegance of the math bothers her. She orders her research assistant to run an independent verification on the impossible cycles. Her assistant returns, visibly shaken, confirming the orbital data is mathematically sound, albeit based on a hypothetical gear. Reed initially dismisses the finding as garbage in, garbage out, but the scientist in her cannot ignore the nagging accuracy. She decides to use her clout to publicly discredit the theory on a major news network to prevent its spread, unknowingly granting Antic the visibility he needs. Maya, unaware of Antic's submission but keenly aware of the brewing academic storm, has been monitoring the online discussion. She creates a punchy 2-minute TikTok video titled Ancient Alien Supercomputer, using the cool graphics of Oracle's simulated gears. She publishes it just minutes before Dr. Reed's network interview airs. The video explodes. Antic's theoretical calculation becomes a viral sensation. A David versus Goliath narrative against the elite. Cynical historian. The Broken Byte is suddenly flooded with calls, not for screen repairs, but for interviews. Antic, overwhelmed by the sudden spotlight, retreats, the attention feeling like a dangerous, unearned success. A sleek black sedan, utterly out of place among Harmony Creek's pickup trucks, parks down the street. Maya, now acting as Antic's impromptu PR manager and bodyguard, notices it instantly. She bundles Antique out the back door, explaining, "Look, you wanted to solve the mystery. Well, you did. Now the mystery wants to solve you." She pulls out her phone, showing him a subtle, recurring logo on the sedan's hubcap, a stylized interlocking gear, the mark of Kronos Corp, a shadowy, powerful entity known for acquiring disruptive technology by any means necessary. Antic recognizes the logo, a failed funding partner from his MIT days. His project has just gone from an academic debate to an industrial threat. Kronos Corp's interest isn't the history, it's the technology. Oracle's ability to flawlessly reconstruct 2 millennia of missing engineering based on astronomical and mechanical data would be invaluable for military targeting, advanced predictive modeling, and most importantly, market manipulation. The corporation's CEO, who quietly observed Antic's MIT failure, now sees a second chance to steal the breakthrough. A corporate representative, a polished man with a dead smile, enters the Gilded Gear, asking locals about Antic's schedule, flashing a thick wad of cash. The waitress from Scene 04, fiercely loyal to her local customers, tells him Antic left for a long vacation and points him in the wrong direction. Antic knows he can't stay. He uses the shop's 3D printer to rapidly fabricate Oracle's calculated missing gear, a beautiful, complex brass piece the size of his palm. As he examines it, he notices a tiny, almost invisible etching on the gear's outer rim, a symbol that is neither Greek nor Roman, but a stylized representation of a comet and a rising sun. He cross-references the symbol with Oracle's image database. The AI flags an obscure artifact found years ago in the Utah desert, classified as unrelated to the Antikythera by the mainstream historical community. The coordinates match the prediction. The symbol is a signpost. Antic video calls his former MIT mentor, Dr. Chen, a kindly but weary AI pioneer. Antic shows him the gear and the Utah coordinates. Dr. Chen's face goes pale. He warns Antic, Kronos Corp doesn't partner. They acquire and erase. Your last failure, they weren't disappointed in you. They were angry they couldn't control it. He reveals that the initial design brief for Oracle was, in fact, secretly funded by Kronos to develop a powerful black box prediction engine. And Antic's ethical coding, the part that prevents misuse, is exactly what they want to bypass. The only way to truly protect Oracle is to complete its mission and prove its value to the world before they can shut it down. Before deleting the Kronos-linked project files for good, Antic notices a subroutine that seems out of place, a digital relic from his past work. It's a hidden encrypted message embedded in the Antikythera's original fragmented code, which only Oracle's full reconstruction could reveal. The message is short in a Greek dialect only used by ancient astronomers and translates to, The key lies where time stops. This cryptic phrase instantly clicks with the Utah coordinates, a vast, flat expanse of desert known locally as the Zero-Time Flats for its disorienting lack of landmarks. It's a literal historical breadcrumb, left for someone who could rebuild the machine's mind. Antic and Maya sit on the floor packing a small suitcase with camping gear, a laptop, and the 3D printed gear. The coordinates lead to a spot miles from any road, requiring an off-road trek. Maya looks at the date, October 29th. She asks gently, "Why this day, Antic? What happened?" He finally admits that his high-profile project, an AI designed to prevent large-scale communication failures, crashed spectacularly on that date 2 years ago, leading to his resignation and self-exile. He sees the Antikythera's date as a challenge. Fate is telling him that to earn his second chance, he must confront the cosmic-level failure on the anniversary of his personal one. Maya, already having booked a pair of discount plane tickets and a rental SUV, hands Antic the keys. She doesn't push him to talk about the failure, but simply says, "Harmony Creek will be here when you get back, fixed or broken. You going to let the universe decide your fate, or are you going to code your own?" Her steadfast loyalty finally cuts through his cynicism. He looks at the 3D printed gear, a piece of brass connecting him to a 2,000-year-old mystery, and feels the pull of purpose he hasn't felt since he left MIT. He smiles, a genuine, albeit nervous smile. This isn't about the Antikythera anymore, it's about his own resilience. The broken bite closes its doors, a hastily scribbled "out of office, back soon," almost sign taped to the glass. As Antic and Maya drive out of Harmony Creek, past the quaint town square, they spot the black Kronos sedan again. Now parked outside the gilded gear, they speed up, the SUV pulling onto the interstate, blending into the flow of American traffic heading west. Antic checks the rearview mirror repeatedly until the familiar clock tower fades to a distant speck. He has willingly abandoned the safety of his small-town refuge for the unpredictable adventure ahead, knowing the stakes are now personal and historic. Days later, the SUV is a mess of energy drink cans and crumpled maps, cutting across the vast beige expanse of the Great Salt Lake Desert in Utah. Antic is navigating, his fingers running over a geological survey map. The sheer scale of the landscape makes his previous life in the tiny Ohio town feel inconsequential. He confesses to Maya that his biggest fear isn't Kronos Corp, but the possibility that his AI's prediction is wrong, that he's dragged her across the country on a fool's errand. Maya simply turns up the classic rock station, reminding him, "Even if it is, we got a great road trip out of it. And you're trying, Antic. That's a huge upgrade from hiding." They finally arrive at the GPS coordinates. The site is nothing but blindingly white salt flats stretching to the horizon. No landmarks, no structures, just a crushing silence. The Zero-Time Flats live up to their name. Antic sets up a small portable antenna array. Oracle begins scanning for the obscure artifact he identified earlier, the one marked with the comet sun symbol. The AI finds a faint buried signal anomaly. They begin to dig with two small, collapsible shovels, the sun beating down mercilessly. The sheer physical labor, so different from coding, is a painful but necessary distraction. Just as Antic's shovel hits something metallic, a cloud of dust heralds the arrival of a sleek, heavy-duty research vehicle. Dr. Evelyn Reed steps out, wearing stylish but practical field gear, flanked by a small crew. Her face is a mask of cool determination. She tracked Antic's viral video and, more importantly, independently verified his geographic coordinates using her own resources, suspecting a genuine new artifact might be found here. She confronts Antic, not with scorn, but with competitive hostility. "I don't believe your tech, but I believe in archaeology. I'm here to ensure this discovery is handled by professionals." Moi prieur. Reed, seeing their simple setup, immediately tries to assert authority, citing her permits and university backing. Maya, however, uses her local Ohio charm, offering Reed a bottle of water and distracting her with questions about ancient Greek shipwrecks. Antic seizes the moment, quickly uncovering a small rusted iron box. It's the size of a jewelry box, locked by an intricate, old-fashioned latch. As he holds it up, the sleek black Kronos drone suddenly appears in the sky, a silent, predatory eye. They've been found. Antic shoves the box into his backpack, their academic dispute instantly overshadowed by a corporate threat. The drone emits a high-pitched directional signal, clearly tracking the metallic box. They all scramble into Reed's larger, more capable vehicle, leaving the rented SUV behind as a decoy. Antic realizes that the Kronos Corp likely fitted the box with a hidden tracker years ago, hoping the ancient artifact would eventually lead them to its powerful contents. He uses his laptop to hack into Reed's vehicle's navigation system, calculating a complex route through the desert's canyons designed to disrupt the drone's signal. Reed, grudgingly impressed by his on-the-fly, high-stakes coding, snaps, "Don't break my GPS, computer kid!" As they careen through a narrow canyon, Maya reads aloud from her phone about the zero-time flats. She finds a local Paiute legend about this spot, the Sky Shatter Stone. It's said that an object fell from the sky long ago, and that the ancients built a machine to warn future generations of its return. This local folklore, dismissed by Reed's mainstream archaeology, perfectly aligns with Antique's AI prediction of a celestial event. The shared purpose, protecting a historical truth, begins to dissolve the tension between the cynical scientist, the skeptical historian, and the practical assistant. They stop in the shadow of a large rock formation to catch their breath. The Kronos drone is temporarily lost in the canyons. Antic tries to pick the lock on the iron box. It's not a modern mechanism. It's an ancient cipher lock requiring a celestial input. Frustrated, he slams the box down. The impact causes a small hidden panel inside Reed's vehicle to pop open, revealing an old analog sextant. Reed explains it was her grandfather's, a forgotten piece of her past. Antic realizes the box requires the exact position of the moon and stars from the moment the box was last opened. A celestial key. The sky darkens, and a massive dust storm rolls over the flats, a sudden blinding wall of orange grit. Reed, initially focused on the sextant, panics. The storm will destroy the box and their electronic equipment. Antique, recalling the resilience of the ancient engineers, realizes the box is designed to withstand harsh elements. He instructs Reed to use the sextant inside the storm, calculating the obscured positions of the stars based on the subtle barometric pressure changes and a rough time input. The desperate combined effort works. The lock clicks open. The lid creaks back, revealing not a gear, but a brittle, rolled-up sheet of papyrus. Antique gently unrolls the papyrus. It's covered in ancient text and a detailed star map. He attempts to photograph it with his phone, but the sheer volume of dust in the air causes Oracle, which is still running on his laptop, to register a catastrophic sensor error. The predictive AI starts to glitch, displaying randomized code and ancient Greek letters. The emotional weight of the project, combined with the physical strain and the nearby drone signal, is threatening the system integrity. Antic can feel his failure at MIT, the moment his previous system crashed, echoing in the back of his mind. He has to trust the human elements. Antic quickly copies the papyrus to a thumb drive and shuts down Oracle. He turns to Reed, holding the fragile papyrus. "I need your expertise, Dr. Reed. This is beyond my tech. Translate it." This act, admitting his technical limit and trusting the academic establishment he'd run from, is a crucial emotional step. Reed, touched by his genuine need and realizing the gravity of the find, agrees. She sees the papyrus detail not a prediction, but a warning, written by the original Antikythera builders. It warns of a secondary object that will arrive with the celestial alignment, an object that was not calculated to be harmless. Just as Reed finishes translating the warning, the Kronos drone reappears, its signal now stronger, having triangulated their position. It descends rapidly, its undercarriage opening to reveal a grapple hook. Antic, knowing they are after the papyrus and his laptop, throws the iron box as a decoy. The drone snags the heavy box, momentarily mistaking it for the valuable artifact, and attempts to lift off. The weight strains its rotors, and before it can clear the canyon walls, The box slips, crashing to the ground and sending the drone into a catastrophic spin. They drive on, the crash a temporary victory, but now Kronos knows they have the artifact. Antic, Maya, and Reed are now in a tense shared mission. To buy themselves time, Maya suggests a digital ruse. She uses her savvy social media skills and Antic's coding to create a series of fake leaks, photoshopped images of the papyrus suggesting the final alignment coordinates are in the Grand Canyon. They post the false data on obscure forums, knowing Kronos Corp's surveillance AI will flag the data, delaying the corporation's pursuit to Utah. The strategy works instantly. They see a stream of private jets rerouting on an airport tracking app. Antic smiles at Maya. Her low-tech, human understanding of the digital world is proving more powerful than his complex AI. Exhausted, they stop at a tiny, dusty roadside motel. Antic can't sleep. He's replaying his MIT failure. He missed a single line of malicious code that caused a catastrophic data cascade, taking out half the university's server farm. It wasn't just a technical failure, it was a trust failure. He felt he let his entire team down. Now, with the potential of a world-changing discovery and the imminent threat of Kronos Corp, the fear of that past failure, of making the wrong, crucial decision, paralyzes him. He grips the small 3D printed gear, his hand trembling. Maya finds Antic in the dark, his turmoil evident. She sits next to him. She doesn't offer scientific analysis or historical context. She offers kindness. You're not that guy anymore, Antic. That failure? It taught you what to look for. That fear? It's keeping you sharp. The universe didn't send an ancient map to a perfectly successful guy. It sent it to the guy who knows what broken systems look like. Her words, simple and direct, finally pierce his self-loathing. He looks at her, truly grateful, and the trembling stops. He decides he will not just solve the riddle, he will embrace the possibility of failure in pursuit of truth. Reed completes the full translation of the papyrus. The Antikythera was a clockwork warning system about a star shard, a secondary non-natural object that would arrive on October 29th, precisely during the celestial alignment. The builders of the mechanism, who saw this event centuries earlier, constructed the machine to provide a last-minute, time-critical warning of the object's trajectory. The coordinates are not for where to view the alignment, but where to find the second physical key to unlock the machine's final output: the object's specific impact zone. The stakes instantly jump from academic validation to planetary safety. The second key is described as a shadow relic, a piece of the star shard itself, which was found by the ancients and secretly hidden near a place of immense historical observation. Reed recognizes the description and location cipher. It points to a historic, decommissioned observatory near Los Angeles, California, an iconic American astronomical site built on a foundation of ancient indigenous observation. The observatory is scheduled for demolition by the end of the month, its historical value deemed too costly to preserve. She realizes her academic snobbery has been a dangerous blindness. The real history has always been about more than just dates and artifacts. Reed makes a momentous decision. She uses her remaining academic pull to call a few old contacts, framing the issue as an unprecedented archaeological emergency to delay the observatory's demolition permits by 48 hours. She looks at Antic, her competitive edge finally gone, replaced by a genuine scientific bond. Antic, your AI may be the key to the future, and this mechanism is the key to the past. But neither of them means a damn thing if we can't work together to save the present. The three, the scientist, the historian, and the marketer, shake hands, officially forming an unlikely high-stakes alliance. Antic re-engages Oracle, feeding it the newly translated warning. The AI quickly recalculates the mechanism's function. The original designers had encoded the trajectory of the star shard into the metal of the mechanism, but only the newly found papyrus contained the correction factor needed to calculate its current path. The mechanism was never meant to be a record. It was an incredibly precise, time-sensitive guidance system. The final piece, the shadow relic, is the object needed to fully calibrate the machine, allowing it to project the final trajectory in real time. Maya, feeling a deeper connection to the mission, translates the final line of the papyrus, a line Reed had missed because it was hidden in plain sight. Written in common street Greek, a broken shield must be made whole to see the truth. The language of the people, not the elites. Antic finally understands the emotional core of the machine. The Antikythera wasn't built by a single genius. It was a community project, a warning passed down through the ages by people who valued collective survival over individual glory. The broken shield is a metaphor for their own broken-off pieces. His failure, Reed's cynicism, their current division. As they pack Reed's vehicle for the drive to LA, a series of Kronos Corp ground drones, larger, military-grade versions of the first one, begin to sweep the flats, searching a tighter grid. Antic quickly rigs a decoy using the SUV's battery and a low-power signal emitter, directing the drones away from their position. They speed off, the sight of the corporate drones closing in, a chilling reminder of the proximity of their pursuers. Kronos is no longer trying to negotiate. They are attempting to lock down the area and eliminate any threat to their objective, the complete control of predictive technology. Reed, now fully committed, takes the lead. She utilizes her vast knowledge of American geography and history, planning a zigzagging route through remote state parks and back roads. Knowing that Kronos Corp's heavily networked tracking systems will assume a fast interstate path, Maya uses her knowledge of digital infrastructure to flag known surveillance blind spots. Antique, watching them work together, realizes that his belief in the perfection of AI led him to devalue the power of human ingenuity and teamwork. The journey itself is teaching him the resilience he was seeking. During a late-night drive, Antic finally opens up to Reed and Maya about his MIT failure. It wasn't just a coding error. He ignored a warning from a junior programmer about the vulnerability, driven by his own arrogance and desire for a perfect launch. His biggest regret wasn't the crash, but his immediate resignation and retreat, leaving his team to clean up the mess. Reed unexpectedly is empathetic. "We all have our broken circuits, Antique. Mine was thinking I was smarter than history itself. The moment you admitted your mistake, you became a better scientist." They discover that the historic LA Observatory, scheduled for demolition, was also the final testing ground for Antic's failed MIT project, a communications satellite designed to use predictive modeling to preempt global communication failures. It was the last place he was before he quit. The star shard correction factor must be related to the precise location of the satellite's decommissioned prototype. The coincidence is too great. The universe is using his failure as the exact anchor point to save itself. As they enter the city limits of Los Angeles, the corporate pursuit is back on. Reed gets an urgent call. Her university contact, pressured by Kronos Corp, has revoked her permits and the demolition order is reinstated for the next morning. She pulls over, handing Antique a set of forged access credentials for the observatory acquired through her network. "I'm going to cause a scene at the main gate, a media spectacle. It'll buy you an hour inside. They won't arrest a tenured historian on live TV without a warrant." It's a bold, career-risking move, the ultimate sacrifice of her professional vanity for the greater good. Maya drives Antic to a hidden access road near the observatory while Reed races to the front gate. Antique watches the breaking news on Maya's phone. Dr. Reed is standing in front of the observatory's famous dome, giving a fiery impromptu press conference about the destruction of global history. The distraction is perfect. Antic and Maya slip in through a service entrance, using the forged credentials to bypass the few security guards. The grand old building, once a monument to human curiosity, now feels like a tomb holding the final piece of the Antikythera puzzle. Inside the observatory, the air is thick with dust and the smell of old oil. They find the decommissioned satellite prototype, a large, impressive dish in a storage hangar. Just as Antic begins to search the console for the shadow relic, a new figure emerges from the shadows, a high-level Kronos executive, not a drone operator, but a strategist who introduces himself as the Director. He isn't here to destroy, he's here to acquire. We own the future of predictive data, Antique. You can't just throw that away for a historical curiosity. The Director reveals that Kronos Corp knew Antique would find the papyrus, as they've been tracking the historical site for years. Their goal isn't just Oracle, it's the celestial event itself. They plan to use the star shard's precise coordinates to drop a stealth satellite into its orbit, giving them a monopoly on a new, energy-rich asteroid. This isn't about history or data. It's about a trillion-dollar resource grab. The Antikythera to them is just a treasure map. The final calibration key, the Shadow Relic, is embedded in the observatory's main telescope mount, a piece of meteorite material used for its precise calibration. The Director orders Antique to use Oracle to calculate the star shard's final trajectory, promising him a percentage and full credit for the historical discovery. Antique realizes this is a subtle form of leverage. He wants Antique to break his own ethical code and willingly participate in the commercial exploitation of a critical global event. The Director pulls out a photo of Maya's parents in Harmony Creek, a silent, chilling threat. Cooperate, and your quaint little life stays safe. Resist, and that charming small town is on a very long list of collateral. Antique, driven by protective fury, refuses. Maya steps forward, pulling the small, 3D-printed gear from her backpack. The Antikythera isn't a weapon for you to steal, it's a shield for us to repair. She forces the gear into a slot on the telescope mount where the Shadow Relic is embedded. A surge of energy pulses through the dome, and the dome's massive roof slowly grinds open, exposing the night sky for the first time in years. The telescope focuses precisely on the spot where the alignment will occur. A beam of light illuminating a spot on the floor where the original MIT satellite prototype's data port is located. The Director, furious, pulls out a small metallic jammer, cutting all external communication and locking the main doors. He activates a security measure on Antique's laptop, wiping Oracle's core programming. Antique is now trapped with a powerful enemy. The clock is ticking on the demolition order, and his entire life's work, the AI, is being erased. The fear is palpable, worse than his MIT failure, because now the stakes are global. Maya, seeing his panic, pulls him to the ground, just as the Director's security team bursts through a side door. Remember, Antique, human connection. Now move. The observatory is in chaos. Maya, using her low-tech, quick thinking, throws a handful of small repair screws onto the polished floor. The Kronos security team, wearing sleek leather boots, slip and fall, creating a crucial moment of distraction. Antique, seeing his chance, dashes to the main console, realizing that the Director's security system is still wired into the old MIT network, the very system he failed to secure 2 years ago. He can use his knowledge of that original failure to create a new successful intervention. He needs to rewrite the core ethical code of Oracle before it's completely wiped. Maya grabs a nearby length of heavy-duty power cable and begins to swing it, creating a wide, physical barrier between Antique and the guards. She shouts, distracting them, her small-town scrappiness fully engaged. "Come and get it, suit jockeys. You want the data? You gotta go through Harmony Creek." She's not fighting to win, she's fighting for time. The diversion is loud, chaotic, and draws every eye in the room, buying Antique the precious few seconds. He needs to interface his laptop with the old satellite console. He can't fail her. He must complete this final piece of coding. Antique furiously types, not to override the wipe, but to inject a new permanent block of ethical code into Oracle's final file, ensuring it can never be used for harm. He uses the observatory's telescope alignment as the final cryptographic key, the real-time celestial coordinates, to complete the code. The system accepts the input. He pulls out the final Shadow Relic, a tiny metallic sliver that had been fused to the telescope mount's base, and inserts it into a slot on the old satellite console, which acts as the data port for the final calibration. The Antikythera's rebuild is complete, not in brass, but in code. The director rushes to the console, but it's too late. The system lights up. Oracle, now whole and ethical, transmits the final real trajectory of the star shard to every public-facing astronomy server worldwide, instantaneously and without a traceable source. The director, realizing his plan is ruined, confronts Antic one last time. You had the power to be a god. You chose to be a footnote. Antic looks him dead in the eye, calmer than he's been in years. The truth isn't owned, director. It's shared. The fully activated Oracle, now secured by Antic's new ethical code, does something unexpected. It transmits a single encrypted message back to Kronos Corp's main server, a Trojan horse file that is actually a self-destruct sequence for the director's specialized tracking software, rendering their data useless. The AI is not just a predictor, it's a protector. It recognizes the threat to its existence and neutralizes it. Antic has not only redeemed himself by trusting his code, but he has empowered his creation to defend its own integrity. A massive siren wails, the demolition crew, having received a spurious all-clear from the director's now offline system, has arrived. Antic grabs Maya and sprints. He stops one last time at the main telescope, which is now vibrating violently, its final display screen flashing the coordinates of the star shard's impact zone, a remote, uninhabited area of the Pacific Ocean. The mechanism was a guide, not a doom teller. Its purpose was to give humanity time to prepare, not fear. They slide down an emergency fire escape just as the first demolition charge goes off in the basement. Standing on the LA sidewalk, Antic and Maya look up at the pre-dawn sky. Dr. Reed is there, having successfully gotten herself released by the police just moments before. A streak of light, the star shard, blazes across the sky, harmlessly burning up as it hits the Earth's atmosphere over the uninhabited Pacific, precisely where Oracle predicted. The alignment, a stunning once-in-a-millennium celestial dance, is beautiful and terrifyingly brief. They look at each other, silent, witnessing the cosmic event they worked so hard to calculate and contain. They saved the world, not with a bomb, but with an ancient clock. Dr. Reed, watching the event, is visibly moved. She turns to Antic, her eyes filled with newfound respect. You rebuilt a 2,000-year-old warning, Antic. You didn't just solve a historical mystery. You proved that the ancients were not primitive, but partners. Thank you. She confirms that the papyrus and the shadow relic will go into an independent, publicly funded trust, securing the information for all. She's giving up the right to publish first, prioritizing the integrity of the information over her own career. It is a true testament to her own journey of redemption. Antic re-examines the final ethical code he injected into Oracle using the celestial coordinates. He finds a residual message, the Antikythera's true mechanism left behind, a final emotional output. It translates to, the most accurate calculation is the one that chooses community. He realizes the entire machine, from the gear ratio to the hidden cipher, was designed to test the resilience and unity of those who found it. The Antikythera was less a computer and more a moral compass, requiring a broken man to be whole before it would yield its final most valuable truth. Maya calls her parents in Harmony Creek, who tell her the director's threats were nothing but bluster. Local reporters had swarmed the town looking for a story, but the community closed ranks to protect the broken bite. Antic finally understands the true meaning of resilience. It isn't about being unbreakable. It's about having a supportive community that helps you repair. He decides to take the lessons of the Antikythera, collaboration, ethical transparency, and valuing human connection, back to his life and his work. Antic, Maya, and Reed, the newly formed Time Team, stand in the quiet observatory debris, watching the sun rise. Antic opens his laptop one last time. Oracle has stabilized and, as a final benevolent act, uses the Shadow Relic to project a complex holographic star chart, a detailed millennia-spanning calendar of all known celestial events, including new unpredicted ones. It's a gift to the world, providing unlimited, ethical astronomical data, the true legacy of the Antikythera Mechanism, now available to everyone. Days later, the trio is back in Harmony Creek. Antic has decided not to go back to the elite AI world. Instead, he plans to turn the Broken Byte into a small, non-profit community center for digital ethics and historical technology, using Oracle's new, publicly available data. He will commit to the community he abandoned, using his extraordinary talent for ordinary good. Dr. Reed, having secured funding for a new historical preservation grant, promises to visit often, secretly looking forward to the sticky buns at the Gilded Gear. The Time team celebrates at the Gilded Gear. The waitress who stood up to Kronos Corp beams, giving them free coffee. The local news is running a story about the celestial event and the unprecedented collaboration between a small-town tech wizard and a famous historian. Antic and Reed debate the philosophical implications of the Antikythera's final message, their arguments now respectful and good-natured. Maya is already using Oracle's newly released data to create educational videos for her new YouTube channel, Ancient Tech for Modern Families. Antic walks through Harmony Creek's town square, stopping at the Old Clock Museum. He calls his former MIT mentor, Dr. Chen, and formally apologizes for his abrupt departure and the mess he left behind. He admits his failure. Dr. Chen tells him he knew Antic would eventually find his way. Antic smiles, finally feeling unburdened. He realizes that the Antikythera Mechanism's ultimate repair wasn't the gear he printed, but the restoration of his own faith in humanity and his place within it. Antic and Maya sit on the roof of the Broken Byte, watching the night sky, their faces illuminated by the friendly glow of Oracle's public data feed on a small screen. The October 29th date has come and gone, no longer a mark of failure, but a symbol of a second chance. He has embraced his name, the AI scientist who rebuilt the missing half of the Antikythera, by rebuilding the missing half of his own life. The universe is vast, and the challenges are endless, but now he is ready to face them, not as an isolated genius, but as part of a strong, resilient community. If you were captivated by Antic's journey of resilience and the incredible secrets of the Antikythera Mechanism, please like this story and share it with a friend. We're building a community around history, tech, and the power of second chances, so be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive mystery. You can follow our new content and get a sneak peek at the Antikythera's newly released data by following us on all platforms at @legendor official.